Calling the zoning hearing board meeting for August 1st, 2023 to order. The first item of business is a request for a continuance for the Selco Partnerships Verizon Wireless appeal, which we do not have the number on the sheet here for. Can somebody please help me with what the appeal number is?
The appeal. Oh, that's a great question. I don't have that.
Dan, can you please fill us in here?
1 second. I think it's 1995, but let me just confirm. It is 23-1999.
Okay. Appeal number Z23-1999. It's been brought to the board's attention that there is an agreement by all of the participating groups that there's a request for a continuance to October 17th. Is there any comment on that here? Okay. Hearing none. Well,
I'll make a motion to continue appeal Z23-1999 until October 17th, 2023.
okay. All those in favor? Oh, we have second. There's our second. Okay. All those in favor? Judy's got to recuse herself from this vote. So
I
need to abstain as well.
okay, that's true. That's right. So we did need the three of us here. All right. And the motion carries. All right. Next up is appeal Z23-2015. If you can come up to the table there, sit down and get sworn in. And Adam will read the exhibits then.
Thank you. We will have the application as A1, the plans as A2, the impervious surface breakdown as A3. The June 14th, 2023 letter from the applicant to the township regarding the installation of the fence as A4. B1, proof of publication, B2, proof of posting, and B3, notice to the neighbors.
Before we begin, I'm one of Calvin's neighbors and I was on the publication list. I don't feel a need to recuse myself. That's it.
Okay, go ahead and explain what you would like to do.
Have an easement along two sides of our backyard. And at the same time, we have a number of mature trees and a pond along this easement and in fact straddle that easement line. Therefore, if we were to place this fence outside the easement, we're basically faced with a Hobson's choice. One, we would have to thread the fence through the trees and our contractor would be really upset with us and it would be extremely expensive. The other option is to remove the trees, which would be environmentally insensitive and expensive. On top of that, the fence, in either case, the fence would go through the pond and it would be a bizarre result. And then certainly the fence having it outside the easement would reduce the size of our backyard and decrease our enjoyment of it. Therefore, we respectfully appeal the denial of our application. We ask for a variance to allow the fence within the easement. We are willing to pay to remove any portions of the fence should access to the easement require such removal. And also important to note that our fence will not cross the easement. Therefore, it will not cross over any pipe that is within that easement. Rather, it will be parallel to the easement. And we are also willing to have a minimum clearance from the center line of the easement, say 3 feet, 4 feet, whatever it is. At most, it will require us to trim tree branches. And we would impress any such conditions on our fence contractor. Thank you. One more. There is a manhole at the corner of the property. Our fence will not come close to that manhole given the clearance. Thank you.
All right. There are questions from the board.
I have one right off the bat.
What?
The house appears to be facing Hayfield Drive. You're not sure where your front door is?
Sir, the front door of our house faces Old Farm Court.
Old Farm.
The garage faces Hayfield and our mailbox is on Hayfield.
Any other questions from the board right now?
What type of fence?
We expect it to be 6 foot high, semi-private fence. We've been talking with County Line Fence. The one that we are leaning towards is called Breezewood.
It's in the packet. Okay, well, let's see if anything else comes up. Is there any comment here in the room? Is there any public comment online for this one? This appeal?
No public comment online.
Okay, so. Yeah, and I would include, if you could include their conditions that they have on the page there.
I make a motion that we approve a variance for appeal number Z-23-2015 with the stipulations that the property owner has already put on, that if there is need to remove the fence for any purpose, it would be at his expense.
We aren't that far yet. Any discussion?
I mean, my only discussion is this possibly the best application I've seen for explaining all the relief and everything. Good job, Calvin. And
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Mrs.
think
Calvin.
I was looking at it at home and I was saying, I understand this without any question. You don't want to cut down mature trees and you don't want to, I was thinking, how are you going to put a fence through a pond? That would have been interesting.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, so with no other comment, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
You'll see some. You're excused, yes, unless you want further entertainment here. It's not one of those nights, though, I don't think.
Cal, I almost asked you how you feel about little white dogs. I almost asked you how you feel about little white dogs.
Oh,
All right, next up is appeal Z-23-2017. If you can come forward, sit down and be sworn in. And we'll read in the exhibits.
All right, we have the application as A1, site plans as A2. The impervious surface calculations and stormwater management small project volume control collectively as A3. A4 is going to be the hand-drawn or hand-sketched plans. B1 proof of publication, B2 proof of posting, and B3 notice to the neighbors.
Go ahead and explain what you would like to do.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Edmund Reed and living at 1359 Gates Circle, looking to have a 10 by 12 shed installed in the rear of the property. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward there. There was, I don't know if this is the correct forum, but on our impervious surface breakdown calculation, there was a line item that says 800 square feet for accessory structures, shed and detached garages, which we have none currently on the property. So I don't know if that would kind of help us out there, but that was the line item we just wanted to maybe clarify.
I think I just considered, I just said, because the pool, you have a pool, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that was just the pool.
The pool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I will open it up to the board to ask questions.
I have one. One measurement I don't see on here is the distance of your shed from your pool. Is it more than 10 feet?
Yes. Yes.
So, all right, I'm a little confused because when I went through the application and under present zoning classification, it just said residential. So it's not a criticism of you, Mr. Reed. Anyway, somebody in our building should have caught what the classification was and put it on the app. So anyway, I went in and I looked up the zoning map. You're in Yardley Hunt, correct?
I'm sorry.
You're in the Yardley Hunt subdivision? I'm pretty sure that's R2 zoning, Dan.
It is R2.
And okay, so on the back, you guys have under the application information at the back of your application, you're looking at what's allowable for R1. So I don't know, we should be looking at it from an R2 standpoint. And the other thing that catches my eye is under R2, the side setback is 15 feet. And I am pretty sure that applies to outbuildings and sheds. And it looks like you're proposing to build this shed 12 feet.
It's the ordinance says 10 feet for all accessory structures.
Okay,
throughout,
great.
So it's not.
Thank you for clearing that up. So that just answered that. Didn't mean to give you a scare, Mr. Reed. But clearly, and again, not your fault, but Dan, I know it's not you and it's not the engineers, but when these are processed, we can't have present zoning classification written as residential, right? We need to have the correct.
Yeah, I think that's just a learning hump with the new software with OpenGovs. That might have just been a minor oversight from one of our staff.
Yeah, again, it's not a huge deal,
Yeah.
but so, all right, thank you.
All right, well, then I'll bring it up here, which is the stormwater mitigation. You're increasing the impervious area. And actually, for all new development in the township, there needs to be mitigation for it. The board here tends to prefer to see permanent types of mitigation, like in this case, it's small enough, so I'll have to ask Dan, things like seepage pits or rain barrels or rain gardens, as opposed to something like trees that are subject to removal by the next owner or die or something along those lines. So question, Dan, what would be required here?
So I don't know if a seepage pit would make the most fiscally sense because it's only 120 square feet. I mean, maybe a rain barrel or a dry well, but I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I think I would be fine with trees, but I know how you guys feel about that. So I guess I would defer to the board.
We can ask.
Is it set right on the ground or is it raised up with stone under it, and around it?
We'll have it on like a gravel foundation.
That helps. It doesn't mitigate it completely though.
So it won't be footed on a concrete slab.
No. Figure out what would work. I mean, the best thing would be like to.
Or we can ask for planting trees.
Dan, what's allowable in R2?
Planting trees is never.
It's 18.
So 18 is allowable. And the existing is 25.7.
Yes.
But they don't have to mitigate. for
Yeah,
the
I'm
existing
aware.
conditions, so.
What is, how much does a rain barrel offset? That might help the board figure out what they want to do.
I think it'd be able to cover the increase of 120 square feet based off of other permits we've gotten.
Yeah, because we've done rain barrels
Yeah.
on a couple.
Yeah,
of
they're
other,
pretty-
like, additions.
Pretty common, yeah.
So Mr. Reed, you know what we're talking about? Like
I saw that in the,
yeah, we're mitigating the extra impervious. So we have an 18 allowable. You're already at 25.7. So we're just trying to get you back to 25.7 and make it as least onerous as possible for you.
Would you be amenable to rain barrels attached to downspouts on one side or the other of the shed?
no, I mean, I don't,
Hmm.
wouldn't be our first, just from the looks of it, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
It could be that. You did mention doing a dry well. That would require a little bit of excavation.
Dry well would be,
And that would not be visible.
at the-
I mean, you could just approve it subject
To approval.
and then have, you could,
You don't have to pick something up. We're just giving you some examples of choices, but it would have to be something fixed that would be subject to the approval.
a dry well, you don't see it.
Yeah, you
You
don't
know,
see
it,
it.
it doesn't change any appearance. It's more underground. Dig gravel, put dirt over it, plant whatever you want. And that really seems to work
Hmm.
well.
I mean, I think to Adam's point, we could probably make a motion to approve this subject to mitigating the stormwater management back to the existing 25.7, I believe. And allow the township engineer working in conjunction with Mr. Reed to make the decision on what that mitigation looks like other than trees. How does everybody on the board feel about that?
I think we're open to it, but I just realized we have to go through a couple other steps here. Is there any comment on this in the room? Public comment on this appeal? Is there any public comment online?
No public comment online.
Okay, there we go.
Neighbors who like you. It's always good.
Well, I think under that circumstance, we can make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Z 23-2017. Subject to mitigating the stormwater management back to the existing 25.7%. The form of mitigation will be negotiated between our township engineer and the homeowner, but not to include planting of trees.
Any comment on the board? Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Appeal Z 23-2017 passes as just conditioned.
Mr. Reed, do you have any questions? Do you know what just happened there?
I believe so.
Okay.
I
You're
do
going to be
wanna
talking
say
to Dan again, yes.
that,
or that
throughout this whole process, Dan, you've been very helpful. So I want to publicly say thank you for all of your help.
Yeah, no problem.
Dan's your
Thank you.
guy.
Have a good night.
All right, thank you.
All right, up next is Appeal Z 23-2018. Adam, can you read in the exhibits while we wait for everybody to get set up there?
yes, let's do. The application is A1, the plans as A2. B1, proof of publication, B2, proof of posting, and B3, notice to the neighbors.
Before we start, a point of order. I take issue with Mr. Doherty saying that that was the best application he's ever seen put together. What about me?
You prepared that, Ed?
Mine are always perfect.
He can say best pro se application.
Good evening. I'm Ed Murphy. I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicants, Scott and Danielle Pottinger. I think the application should be fairly straightforward. Pottingers reside at the corner of Dyers and Bray Lane. They are slightly under the allowable impervious allowed for homeowners in the R1 district. Their property is slightly less than 38,000 square feet. They're allowed 19% and we are 18.95%. As depicted on the plan, the applicants would like to build an in-ground pool to the rear, as depicted on the plan. And in anticipation of the obligation when an applicant is proposing to exceed the allowable impervious, we contemplated providing on-site permanent stormwater management facility that's obviously not yet been reviewed by township engineer or Mr. Majewski, but knowing full well that it would be expected, we anticipated that and it's depicted on the plan. To my immediate right is I was going to say Eric next to me, but Gilmore has been involved in the plan for some time, and Eric and his staff have put together what's in front of you. I don't know if Scott or Danielle are going to join us via.
Hi, I'm on the line.
Okay, that she get,
Okay, well, Danielle's here. That's good.
Hi.
Scott?
Sorry, my husband is coaching LMFA football and got held up. So in a last minute scramble, I'm calling in. So sorry. He was supposed to be there live.
that
We're
can
good.
be-
Danielle, I don't know at what point you joined and whether or not you heard the short summary I provided. You did or did not?
I did. I heard the whole thing. I've been
Okay,
on for about 10 minutes.
okay. So I take it you would support the short summary that I provided of the background, where you are today with the impervious, the fact you want to install a pool, the fact that we're contemplating on-site stormwater management, and that that would be part of any condition of approval for you to exceed the allowable impervious by about 2%, right?
That is all correct.
Okay. Eric, you
Can
want to
we get-
take 2 minutes to
can she get
talk
sworn in?
briefly after you get sworn in? Sure.
actually, can you swear in her too, please?
Daniel, do you solemnly swear testimony about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, thanks.
Eric,
Eric, you solemnly swear testimony about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Eric, you and Lyndon are the design engineers for the project, right?
That's correct.
Okay. You've heard the summary and support the summary that I provided.
Yes.
Okay. Explain briefly the nature of how you intend to manage the additional impervious generated by the pool.
Okay. The additional impervious, which is the pool decking around the water surface, is going to be directed to a stone seepage bed adjacent to it. All of the impervious will be graded in a manner to get it over to that structure.
And to the rear and to the side is conserved open space, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And the other neighbor on Bray Circle or Bray Lane home is further forward towards the cul-de-sac and would not be adversely impacted by where you propose the seepage bed. Right?
That is correct. They would not
Okay.
be impacted.
And Danielle, you are obviously well aware and familiar and friendly with your neighbors, and they're aware of the application and don't have any objection to it, right?
Correct. As far as we know.
Right. Okay. I don't have any other questions for Danielle or Eric.
Okay, one question here. Is there a pool equipment shed going in anywhere here? Because I don't see one on the plan. Or it's not immediately apparent.
It'll be within the impervious area shown. The details with the pool guy are not completely worked out, but what we have is the perimeter of the impervious where it would be stored.
Other questions from the board?
I just want to make sure I understand in this district, is the allowable 19% and the existing 18.5 right now?
The allowable is 19% by a lot owner. The existing is 18.96. So we're slightly under the allowable.
Okay. And what will we be at after
20.97%.
In square footage, we're about 700 square feet over. And the follow-up question may be, what are they doing with existing impervious? They're actually removing a swing set and some things around it to bring it down to allow this. So we are slightly over still, but they are removing some things.
And that is on your plan.
Yeah, the swing set
It's
is
on
under the
there.
pool.
Yeah.
It's so.
Yeah.
Right. The kids are graduating from the swing set to a pool.
Okay. It looks like we don't have any other board comment right now. Is there any comment online?
No public comment online.
So back to the board here. Any other comments or a motion?
I make a motion to approve appeal number Z 23-2018. Subject to mitigating the stormwater management from the proposed 20.97% back to the allowable 19%.
A quick question here, Dan. Isn't it mitigation for all or new impervious nowadays, or is it?
Yeah, are we going back to 18.96 or 19%?
Not that it's relevant mathematically, but for on future ones.
If you don't mind me jumping in, we have to control all the new.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
All right, let's, all
Rather than go with percentages, just say all new.
Yeah.
impervious.
Yeah. So I think that's why I brought that.
right, we'll start over. So I make a motion to appeal. I make a motion to approve appeal number Z 23-2018, where we mitigate all additional stormwater management back to the existing 18.96%.
I'll second.
Okay. Any comment by the board? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Great.
Appeal
Thanks.
Z 23-2018 is done.
Ed, have we
Right.
ever
Thank
seen
you.
you for a pool before? Have we ever seen you for a pool before?
Probably not.
But Ed has watched us do a lot of pools. All right. Dan, what's up for the next meeting on the 15th? Do we have a meeting on the 15th? We have appeals currently scheduled.
I think there's about 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will have a meeting on the 15th of August. Any other items? Okay. Make a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn until our next meeting of the 15th of August.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh.
Okay, we're done.